What's up there, YCC? Wow. And welcome to my Q&A 200 subscriber video. I've got a few questions to go through. I'm going to go... Hang on, Michael. So yeah, I've got a few questions to go through. I'll go through the first one that was a personal message to me, which is from Adrian. And the question is, question for your Q&A video. When the young Iceman threw a snowball at Thor in All New X-Men because he thought they were just an illusion was one of the funniest moments in comics for me ever. I was in tears of laughter. What has been your funniest moment in comics to date? Now, I'm probably going to go for Sex Criminals. There's two bits really, but... Wait! Sorry, the piggies have been annoying. The first bit is where they go into Cumworld, and basically they see all the dildos and stuff like that. But I also like the tips and hints at the back of the book. They always get me laughing. So yeah, I hope that answers that question, dude. So we shall go on to the next lot. I'm just getting up on my phone. I'll go view pinned posts. It gets there. Have a cup of tea while you're waiting. But not now, because I'm up to date. Right, okay. I was going to get prepared for this. 1 second. And we're back in the room. Right, okay. First question is from the Mahoney Show. And he asks me, favourite Megazord of all time. Now, I could be really boring and say that one up there, hang on, that one there. And if it was to go collectibles, toy-wise, it would have to be that one. But if we're going for just bog standard favourite Megazord, it would have to be this one. If you got the Falcon Zord on the back as well. It just looks really nice. You know, it's nice to put together. But in the TV show, when this, obviously we saw this first in the Power Rangers movie, and then when they released it into the TV show, I was like, wow, that's the Ninja Megazord. But yeah, I'd have to go with this one, I think. But it's got to have the Falcon Zord on the back. I'd say toy-wise or a Megazord in my collection would have to be my Legacy Megazord. So that's Mahoney's. Thank you for asking me that question, dude. Stephen McKee, what's up? What does it feel like to be the leader and CEO of the best army of all time, the YCC? I'm very proud of the YCC, of how far we've got. But I personally won't call myself a leader. You know, me and the admins deal with the riffraff, but the YCC runs itself basically. But yeah, I'm just so proud of it. Like I say, from such a tiny little force in my head, and it's just grown and grown and grown, and it's still growing. Yeah, it makes me feel very proud. I'm glad that I did it because I've made some brilliant friends on there. You know, actually met up with a few people as well, and it's brilliant. It's nice. I can't talk about my comic hobby. I'll put my phone down. Can't talk about my comic hobby at work really, because no one knows what I'm on about, or they don't give a shit. But yeah, it's nice to go on the YCC and have chit chats with people. Joining people's conversations, it's brilliant. Absolutely love it. Mike Scalia. Oh, dude, I can't answer that. Out of all active members, who are your top 10 you want to hang out with? Oh, dude, that's nasty. If we're doing a live hangout, obviously you've got Matt on Comics, Mahoney Show. If I forget people, I'm so sorry. Mark, Michael. Who have I said? So we've got Matt, Mahoney, Michael, Mark, Stephen McKee, Mr. Cooley, because he was one of the first original Hangout people. It would be good to have a hangout with Mr. Bell again. Yourself, dude. Adrian Starkey. Oh my god, I don't like this question. Nightwing, because he's such a laugh and he's always having a joke. That's 10. Can I go for 11? Ricardo. Oh, there's loads. I think if it was to do a hangout. Actually, no. I'm gonna take this question another way. People I haven't hung out with that I would like to. No, I can't answer that question. That is so bad. I'd love to have a hangout with all the YCC members. But I'm just going to stick with the usual crew, I'm afraid. That's really bad. I do want to get some females onto the hangout, just so we can, get the good, bad and uglies and their views on comics, see if it's different to us lads. So yeah, I am so sorry if I missed people or don't feel bad, don't feel left out. I said to Mike that all these questions I'm just going to answer them off the top of my head, and like I say, the usual crew for the hangout, plus some extra few that we haven't had on the hangout before. God, I really didn't like that question. Stephen McKee. If you could go for a pint with one, who would it be? Jonathan Ross or Jason David Frank? It'd have to be Jason David Frank, I think. As much as I like Jonathan Ross and respect him, I've been a huge fan of Jason David Frank from when I was like, well, I want that young, but since I started watching Power Rangers, so Jason David Frank. This is another tricky one. Mike, this is from Mike again. Using Spider-Man characters, put the members where they best fit. Peter Parker, it'd have to be me, because I always want to be Spider-Man, and I have dreams that I'm web slinging through New York, so I'm picking me for that. Gwen Stacy. So I can think off the top of my mind, I can think of 4 YCC members. 5. But I'd have to go with Jessica, purely because she's got the nearest coloured hair to Gwen Stacy. J. Jonah Jameson, Mountain Comics. Now, JJ has his own newspaper company. Mountain Comics has the Eye in the Hall, so I'm going to pick Mountain Comics for J. Jonah Jameson. Flash Thompson. Oh. I should really be doing this when I'm more awake, shouldn't I? Flash Thompson. I just can't think. Ricardo. Sorry, dude. Norman Osborn. Mark. I think, as lovely as Mark is, if he gets injected with that green goblin formula, he could be a proper badass, because he's quite brainy as well, so I want to go there. Harry Osborn. Jack. I'm going to pick Jack, same reason. Doc Ock. I'm going to pick Mike. I'm going to pick you, dude. The reason behind this is we've sort of like, when it comes to collecting Power Rangers legacy items now, we're sort of, Cocoa Pop, we're sort of like enemies, who's going to get that first and who's going to get that first. Sorry, Cocoa Pop's really annoying me today. So yeah, I'm going to pick Mike. He's my arch enemy when it comes to collecting the the Legacy collection. Rhino. Stephen McKee, because I hope I get this right. When he was younger, he used to play rugby, so I can imagine him like bashing people out the way. Shocker. Oh, dude, these are hard. Shocker. Adrian Starkey. Reason? I ain't got one. Mary Jane. I'm going to have to pick Helen, who is my wife, and yes, she is a member of the YCC, and she is sort of like semi-active. You know, Helen's my soulmate. Mary Jane is Peter's soulmate. Kane. I'm going to have to go with Michael Moore, purely because I would have put him second choice for Peter Parker. Hobgoblin, Mr. Mahoney. I think he a bit same with Mark. You know, if he was goblinized, yeah, that's a good word. I think he'd suit the Hobgoblin down to a T. So we got, you know, the three goblins with Mark, Jack, and Mahoney. That was hard. Oh, Mike again. Who's the one ranger you wish you could meet and why? Kimberly, the Pink Ranger. Why? Do I even need to answer that? Mike Scalia. How bad are you going to play with your new Green Ranger Dragon Dagger? I think as soon as I get it, I'm going to play like mad with it. I wouldn't say play. I'm going to test it out. But yeah, I'm hoping to put it somewhere up there on display, because I think it's going to look amazing. And every now and again, I'll get it down and start playing with it. James Neville. Are Marvel really going to kill off Wolverine on screen and in the comic? I don't know. I know there's rumours going around that they're going to kill off a main character in the movie. I think it would be too obvious to kill Wolverine off, considering they're doing it in the comic books, or they've done it, I'm not too sure. So I don't know, I think we're going to have to wait and see until the movie comes out. Stephen McKee. Hang on a sec. Joshua, who's your favourite superhero? Yeah. Quick. Well, just pick one. Batman. There you go. You like that, Stephen? Yeah. Who is Helen's favourite superhero? Now, we discussed this last night, and she said Iron Man. And do you have a Holy Grail comic? And if so, what is it? The non-achievable would be Amazing Fantasy 15 or the Walking Dead first print, issue 1. But yeah, them two, I think. If I was going for one that I could afford, it would probably be, I think it was issue 25 of Superior Spider-Man, the Scotty Young variant. Yeah. Yeah. Mike Scalia. What's your favourite sandwich? Now, I think I've answered this before because Matt did this, asked me this question. When I was in Florida, I went to Subway and I had a chicken parmesan, which consisted of chicken strippers, parmesan cheese, and like a bolognese sauce. And you can't get that in England, so that's my favourite sandwich. Oh, last question. Wow. Matt Mills. What do you think of big events or crossovers? Going back to the death of Superman to now, which do you like and not like? How do you feel about them in general? Now, I'm not a DC man. I did own The Death of Superman, but I didn't read it because at the time I wanted to know more about Doomsday and and how Superman come back to life, and that trade just basically shows you him dying. But as for big events and crossovers, I don't like them no more. Age of Ultron was my first event or crossover, and it was okay. Sorry, hang on. It was okay. It was probably my favourite out of the events that I've got. So I can't think. He's really trying to get my boobies. But yeah, you know, I think with Marvel doing all these crossovers, and it's really starting to annoy me. I think, was it the Battle of the Atom? How I was already collecting X-Women and all new X-Men, and I had to collect like an extra six or seven comics, I think, to complete Battle of the Atom, which made my pull for that month really expensive, or more expensive than what I'd normally spend. And yeah, you know, it's just happening too much. You know, the last one I read was Ultimate Spider-Man Cataclysm. I bought what I thought was all the singles that I needed to catch up to Ultimate Spider-Man 200. To then find out at the end of Cataclysm Spider-Man number 3, I needed to get number 4, so I ordered that. And then I spoke to Mahoney, and he says, "Oh, you need number 5 as well." So yeah, it's. I'm not, you know, at the moment, I'm kind of hoping Spider-Man doesn't go into that era of crossing over as much as, you know, Age of Ultron and Battle of the Atom and stuff, because I would seriously consider just dropping all Marvel. But touch wood, Superior Spider-Man didn't have any tie-ins or major tie-ins apart from 6AU, which I bought anyway, but yeah. They really annoy me, in answer to your question. So that's it. That's the end of my Q&A. Thanks to everyone who asked me questions. What I'm just doing now is loading up my last video, and I'm going to go through the comments. I'm going to rewatch this as well after. So this is from YCC Covers number 26. We have 21 views and 5 thumbs up. 5 comments. Addy Starkey. Reason I read issue 6 only was because I loved the cover. Have a look, LOL. It's the best one, plus it was the start of a new arc, however I still didn't buy it anymore. Great covers you've shown, mate. Thanks, dude. I love my Midtown comic variants. Just wish I could afford to get the next 2 Spiders. Stephen McKee. YCC growing larger and ready to take over the world. Yes, we are, my friend. YCC Unite. Robotech00. Wow, it's almost at 1,000. Yeah, I think we're about 80 away, I think, something like that. That's crazy. Are you going to get the other Midtown comic covers to go with the one you have? I think it's a 3-piece set. I think if I can pick them up cheap at a later date, I will. But I mean, I've spent a bit too much this month, and as much as I'd love to get them all, especially Amazing Spider-Man number 1, it's got Mary Jane in the corner. It's just like, oh yeah, I want that. But no, at this moment in time, no, I'm not going to. I ordered the Scott Young variant and the other joint. What did you call it? The other joint one. And now Mark's got Superior Spider-Man 31 of it, so yeah, I won't be getting it yet. So yeah, that's it. That's for my Q&A. I hope I did it justice. There's a few questions I didn't like answering, and I'm going to rewatch this video and see if I have to do it again. But thumbs up if you like it anyway, thumbs down if you don't, comment, subscribe, and all that's left to say is whip it. Live long and prosper. Turtle power. It's morphin' time. And Nanu Nanu.